Simon, how's the stay on the Sunshine Coast been so far, mate?
Yeah, it's been good. The last 2 or 3 days it's just been about getting settled and trying to build a routine and make it feel like home. It's something that we did really well in Manly was to set it up early, really embrace it and make it feel like home, and that's what we've done here as well. So the players are well settled, they've got their families all with them, and now we've got main training today and we're into it.
So you're expecting a couple of months here, do you think?
Yeah, at this stage we've been told that we're going to be here for a couple of months, but like anything, it can change. So we're prepared to do whatever it takes to get the season away, but also to perform really well. So at this stage, it's 8 weeks here, but we'll wait and see.
What did you make of your fixture from rounds 9 to 12? Looks like you're going to be doing a fair bit of travel and not a lot of break.
Yeah, look, it's no different to any team. It's the fixture is the fixture, and we're prepared to do whatever it takes to perform strongly. So what we did do through the first COVID break was to prepare our players for 4-day cycles. Darren Burgess has had a lot of experience in putting programs together with elite sporting teams around short breaks, and we prepared our players through that period. So they're used to the load that they're going to have to carry, and that's sort of the approach we're taking, is to really pick a team that we think can win every week and play our best team available.
What's the plan as far as... Sorry, do you want to go, Melissa?
No, you go. I was just going to ask something about being on the sunny coast, but I'll follow up. You go, Mark.
All right, no worries. What's the plan as far as... I know you're not going to give away sort of your exact tactics and strategy around how you're going to rest players and that sort of thing, but can you give us any insight into what you're planning? Like, some people have suggested there might be a mass resting. That might be the best way to do it, or do you just sort of rest a couple each time? Can you give us any insight at all into what you're planning?
Yeah, our plan's not to rest anyone. Our plan will be to pick the best team now. We certainly won't be reckless with that. If players are sore and unavailable, then they won't play. But our plan is to pick the best team available. We think we've prepared our players to handle the loads that are going to be presented to them, and we're certainly not going to be a club that's going to be in the process of resting players. We want to make sure we make every week get our best players out there to perform really strongly.
I was just going to ask, are you bunkered in there with the Melbourne Storm? And I just wondered, obviously they've been there for a month or so and have had some really great results. I know you've been away in Manly and that as well, but is there anything you can learn from them, or do you have much to do with them?
We've spent a lot of time with the Melbourne Storm. We've obviously shared a facility for a long time now, and quite accustomed to their staff, their coaches, everyone involved. So the facility we're at is quite spread out. We haven't seen a lot of them at this stage, but they're a fantastic organisation. They've built a really strong culture, and we've learnt a lot off them over a long period of time now, and they've got a good relationship. So in some ways, it feels like home just having them around.
Simon, when are you going to get the other, 8 or 9 players joining you? With, big brother injection kind of stuff.
Yeah, we're looking forward to getting them. We've got another 12 players coming up on next Friday. They come out of quarantine in the Gold Coast. So, along with that, we've got another 4 or 5 partners coming up and some more family and staff. So, it's going to be our, travelling party will get bigger, but we're looking forward to getting everyone. We're coming into those compressed games, and we're going to need a real squad mentality. There's no question about that. So I'm looking forward to getting everyone together once again.
And Tom McDonald, is he available this week, and how likely is it he'll play?
Yeah, look, he's available. We need to get him through training today to really make sure he's available and tick off some things. But, we'll sit down later today, post-training, and go through selection. I thought Jackson and Wiedemann were outstanding last week, and the team functioned well. So whether we go with 2 talls, whether we go with 3, we'll sit down and make that decision.
Is there any chance you play him on a wing, Simon?
Oh, it's an option. Something that we will talk about. He can do that role for us and has done it in the past. But we want to make sure we pick the right balance to our team as well. But it's certainly something we will discuss.
Is his eye troubling him at all, Simon? Like, I guess, vision or even just swelling or anything like that? Or is he sort of back to normal in that sense?
Yeah, he's back to normal. He's just got to get a tick off from the specialist. but he's got to do some contact today. But as far as we know, it's all clear and it's back to full function and ready to go. So, which is pleasing because when you get an injury in that area, it can be concerning. But for Tom's benefit, he's back to full health.
Simon, how are you handling the buzz around Christopher Petrarca after his last few weeks? There's a lot of early week talk. You might have missed it given your hectic schedule of travel and whatnot, but how are you handling it, and do you think you need to do anything with it?
I just embrace it. He's a terrific player, and he's worked incredibly hard in his game. That doesn't mean he can't get better, and he's going to get better. He's got some more challenges ahead, there's no question, as teams start to put a little bit more time into him. But Christian thrives off his ability to perform, ability to handle moments, and he's just developed himself into an exceptional player, and I think he's a really exciting player for our supporters. The Melbourne Footy Club hasn't had such a dynamic player for a long period of time, and he's worked incredibly hard. He's 5-6 years in the system now, and it's some of the work starting to pay off. So we just got to embrace it as a footy club. The noise, and people see what they see. They see someone that's pretty special in contest areas and ability to impact games. So we hopefully will see that for a long time to come.
What about from the perspective there, as you mentioned, of other teams putting a bit of work into him? Do you have to work with him on that as well?
There's no doubt. He's spent some time in that space already. He's really worked hard around his stoppage craft and his contest work and contest area, which makes him difficult to play on. But he's also his ability to go forward. He's a tough matchup for opponents. He's strong and can mark the ball, and so I think he's got the skill set to work through that really comfortably. And we'll use him in roles where we think he'll help the team. If we need him in the midfield, we'll put him there. If we need him forward, we'll place him there to hit the scoreboard. So, he's going to be a great asset for us as a coaching group.
Simon, a couple of good performances, but does this feel, I guess, almost like a step up in class against a really formed team like the Lions?
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. The Brisbane Lions are an outstanding footy club, and they've shown that over the last 2 years. They've developed a really strong list. They play a really contested style of footy in the forward half of the ground, and they do it consistently well. So we're looking forward to that challenge. It's the way we like to play the game, and there's going to be two teams going at it pretty hard.
You touch on that, Goody, the contested side of things. That is obviously what you guys pride yourselves on, but you look back to last year's game, they comfortably got you in clearances, centre clearances, contested possessions. How much have you looked back at that, and what did you learn from that?
I learned a lot from last year, but I haven't looked back at that game. Different personnel, different way of playing. I think we've got better method to the way we're playing now. There's no doubt they got us in that phase of the game last year, and it's something that we certainly remember. But we certainly want to back ourselves in as well and make sure we get on top in the areas that you just spoke about.
Just on a specific one, Clayton Oliver in the last couple of weeks had more kicks and handballs, which is kind of a rarity. Did he flick the switch in terms of being a part of his game that he had to change, and your style had changed in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, it's a good question, Pete. We've had this, obviously, this has been a much talked about thing with Clayton probably since his first year of footy. When he used to have even more handballs than he did kicks. What we are liking about Clayton in the last few weeks, he is driving his legs out of contest areas, and whether that be with handball or whether that be with kick, he's certainly having a bigger impact around contest areas, and he's worked incredibly hard on it and continues to get a greater understanding of what makes his game tick. But I think what people underestimate with Clayton is some of the things he does in those contest areas is quite exceptional for a young player, and he probably doesn't get the credit that he does deserve. And I think what we've seen in the last couple of weeks, the more he exposes himself to his ability to get out of contest areas, the better player he's going to become.
I know it's probably a question best for Clayton, Goody, but how did he handle the criticism after the Richmond game? They came pretty hard for him.
Look, Clayton's someone that just works incredibly hard in his game. He listens to his coach as well. He's a very coachable player. That criticism would sting anyone. I think noise is prevalent in our game, and it stings individuals. But he's a very proud player and wants to be a great player and the best player he can possibly be. So he's constantly working on his game. I don't think I've seen a player that works harder on his game. Every day he's got a day off. He's working on something else in his game. So. He's going to continue to get better.
How are you going to keep your sanity with 20 days of straight footy, Simon, given you love it so much?
I think I'll nestle back on a few nights and have a couple of stubbies and watch the footy. For a footy lover, it's just going to be brilliant to watch 20 nights of footy. I'm not sure all the wives would be happy that are sitting at home, but there's a lot of people out there that love the game, and there's a lot of passionate supporters out there. And I think what the AFL have done and what the clubs are doing at the moment to provide a spectacle is just something pretty special for our game.
Simon, just one on Harley. I mean, given his history, how carefully do you? I know you would be anyway, but sort of through this next patch, how sort of carefully do you have to monitor his loads?
As I said, we'll just assess individual players at the right time, but our current mindset's to play the best team possible. We know Harley's history, we know where he's come from, and he'll be one of those players that we just have to be mindful of around his loads and monitor them as close as we can. But that will be a week-to-week decision. We're not mapping it out right from the get-go of how many games he's going to play, when he's going to play. We're going to take it week by week and assess it on that basis.